So it's the 4th of July, which means only one thing. Time to celebrate America's independence by standing in a mosquito-infested backyard, holding a paper plate sagging with your mom's warm potato salad, and watching Dave across the street attempt to launch the big one that he bought from some guy's van in a Walmart parking lot. Now everybody knows there's really only 3 types of people on the 4th of July, right? The grill master, the red, white, and bleary-eyed, and Bob, the guy who had way too much to drink and forgets to throw the M80, thereby blowing his hand to smithereens. So, for all you fellow Americans, be careful tonight. Try not to be Bob. Enjoy your 4th of July. I've been called a walking cliché more than once. 32 years old, still single, and working construction since I dropped out of community college after one semester. I've got a tan that never fades and the back that already cracks like bubble wrap. But hell, I own it. My name's Tommy, and if you've ever driven through Grantville, you've probably seen me on top of someone's roof, hammering in shingles. It's the 4th of July, which means the whole town is crammed onto the high school football field, pretending we're all closer than we really are. The air's thick enough to drink, humid, sticky, smelling like cut grass, hot dogs, and some undercurrent of teenage sweat. Kids are running with sparklers, and parents are complaining about the heat. And the old folks are planted on the benches, swatting mosquitoes and reminiscing about real fireworks back before the city council got cheap and safe. But me, Tommy here, I'm here on a date. Her name's Becky. She's got hair so straight it looks ironed, and a smile that probably cost her parents a fortune. She works at the bank as a teller, not manager. My buddy Emmett set us up, swore she's totally your type, man. She likes beer and baseball and hates yoga. But I should have known better. Becky's been scrolling her phone since we got here, barely looking up when I asked if she wanted a lemonade or to go find a spot on the grass. I try a joke, something about the town mayor and his toupee catching fire last summer. But all I get is a tight smile and that's funny. That sounds like she's reading off a cue card. I spot my crew over by the bleachers. Emmett's waving, already holding a can of Budweiser in each hand like he's auditioning for a commercial. Robbie's lighting up a Marlboro, his face flushed and sunburned, grinning at something that I can't hear. There's a couple of other guys, but Emmett and Robbie are my constants, the ones who've stuck around since high school, the ones who don't flinch when my sarcasm gets sharp, or when I start talking about the time I almost lost 2 fingers to a table saw. Becky glances at them, then at me. "Are those your friends?" she asks, her voice flat as soda left out in the sun. "Yeah," I say. "It's the best degenerates in town. You want to meet them?" She shrugs, scrolling again. "Maybe later." We sit through the fireworks, and the sky goes bruised purple, then black, and the first mortar goes up with a shriek. All the kids scream and clap. The town oohs and ahs like they're watching the second coming. I find myself watching Becky, wondering if she's ever actually looked at fireworks before. She's texting. Probably her ex, or her mom, or someone who doesn't smell like asphalt and sweat by 6 p.m. By the time the finale starts, I'm sweating through my shirt, and my patience is worn thin. I lean over, voice low. "Hey, Becky, this really doesn't seem to be working out. You're bored, I'm bored, and I'm pretty sure you're texting about me right now." She blinks, finally looking at me. "What? No, I just..." "It's fine," I say, standing up. "Go home. I'll tell Emmett I owe him a beer for the setup." I leave her there with her mouth open and head for my guys. Robbie grins, teeth white against his sunburned face. Hey, you ditcher, Tommy? Like a bad habit, I say, grabbing a beer. Let's get out of here before the mayor tries to shake my hand again. The fireworks end and the crowd picks up. We pile into Emmett's old Silverado, the paint peeling and the seats ripped. It smells like sweat and last week's fast food. Robbie's got a sixer, and I light up a smoke, feeling the nicotine hit my lungs. The air is thick with leftover gunpowder, that metallic tang mixing with a humid July night. We drive out past the edge of town, to the cornfields behind the high school, the place we always go when we want to be idiots and nobody's looking. The corn's high, the leaves rustling like they're whispering secrets. Fireflies blink in the dark, and there's a thin layer of haze from the fireworks, the scent lingering, sweet and sulphurous. We park by the edge of the field, crack open a few beers, and sit on the tailgate, passing smokes and stories back and forth. Robbie got a story about his boss and a nail gun, and Emmett's talking about the time he got stuck on the roof of the Dairy Queen. It's stupid, and you know what? It's perfect. It's the kind of night you don't realize you'll miss until you're too old to jump a fence or too tired to care. The beers are warm, the cigarettes are cheap, and for a minute, I forgot that I'm 32 and alone, and that tomorrow I'll be back on the scaffolding, sweating my ass off for a paycheck that barely covers my rent. But then we hear it, a rustle, quick and sharp, something moving through the corn. Not a raccoon or a deer, but something much faster. Emmett freezes, beer halfway to his lips. Robbie's laughing, thinking it's a prank. And then it bursts out. It's tall and thin, burlap skin stretched over bones, arms like scythes, glinting in the moonlight, legs skinny like chickens. Impossibly fast. It's gone in a blur, just a shadow, but Robbie's not laughing anymore. He stares at the place where it disappeared, cigarette trembling in his hand. What in the hell was that? Emmett whispers. Robbie shrugs, but his voice cracks. It's, probably just some kid screwing around. Nobody believes it, not even him. We laugh it off, but the night's changed. The fireworks are done, but something's still out there, moving in the dark, waiting. The cornfield gets quiet again. Quiet except for the bugs singing their suicidal hearts out. Even the fireflies seem to keep their distance from where that thing ran. I try to play it cool, but my hands are shaking when I light another smoke, and the lighter's click sounds like a gunshot in the sticky silence. Robbie's the first to break the silence. Alright, fuck it. I gotta piss, he announces, swaggering off into the rows like he's got something to prove. If I don't come back, avenge my death, boys. Don't worry, Robbie, Emmett calls out after him. We'll split your last six-pack in your honor. I flick ash off my cigarette. I'll even say something nice at your funeral, like he never paid back that $50 that he owes me. Robbie disappears, the corn swallowing him whole. We listen, half for the sound of him pissing, half for anything else. The bugs keep buzzing. I make a show of checking my phone for the time, but really, I'm counting the seconds. 30, 40, a minute. Emmett glances my way, his face drawn tight. You think it was just some kid? Yeah, of course it was, I say, but the words come out a little brittle. Some kid with a wardrobe malfunction and a meth problem? We both had a nice laugh at that, but I do believe we knew in our hearts that it wasn't a kid. I crush my cigarette in the dirt, watching the smoke curl up and vanish. Then there's a sound, a wet, heavy thump, like someone dropped a sack of meat in the mud. Emmett stands up, beer completely forgotten. Hey, Robbie? He calls, his voice is shaking. Silence. The bugs have stopped. Even the air feels completely still. "Hey, Robbie." I try to sound annoyed, not scared. "Quit screwing around, man." No answer. Emmett looks at me, his eyes wide and white. "Maybe we should go check on him, Tommy." I sigh, because of course we should, and because I already know that I'll probably regret it. The corn brushes against my arm, sticky with dew and sweat, the smell of fireworks and earth thick in my nose. We follow the flattened stalks, Emmett in front, me a step behind. We find him between two rows, sprawled on his back, his head a good 6 feet away from his body. There's blood everywhere. Too much, soaking the dirt and all the roots. His face is frozen in surprise, or maybe he just finally realized how much he owed me. Emmett gags, stumbles forwards, and vomits in his mouth a little bit, and I stare at Robbie's body, my brain refusing to put the pieces together from the scene that I'm witnessing. And then something moves in the dark. It's just a flicker at the edge of my vision. I grab Emmett by the sleeve. "Truck, now." We run, tripping over roots and torn up corn, the humid air thick and choking. Behind us, I hear something moving, fast, slicing through the stalks. I don't look back. I'm not a horror movie idiot. But Emmett's ahead of me, his boots thudding on the dirt. He's almost at the truck when something slashes out from the darkness, knocking him sideways. He screams a high, panicked scream, and then the sound cuts off with a wet crunch. But I don't stop. I hit the truck, keys already in my hand, scrambling up into the cab. My hands are slick with sweat and something else, and the smell of blood and gunpowder is everywhere, and my lungs burn with it. I fumble with the keys, jam them into the ignition, praying that the old beast still has one more getaway in her. The headlights flare to life, cutting through the corn, and for a split second, I see it. It's tall, covered in burlap bags, arms like rusty scythes, with weird, skinny chicken legs. It stares at me with its head cocked, and its eyes are like black pits burning in the dark. Now I'm nearly shitting myself by this point, and I slam the gas, tires spitting up the dirt and the engine roaring like it knows we're both running for our lives. This thing tilts its head, watching me go, and I swear I heard it laugh. A dry rasping sound that chases me down the road and into the night. I drive like hell. My knuckles are white on the wheel, and the taste of bile and natty ice burning my throat. The truck bounces over ruts and potholes, the headlights jittering all over the endless corn. Now I keep expecting to see that thing in the rear view, sprinting after me, those razor arms slicing through the air. But I don't stop until I hit blacktop, the edge of Grantville's only real road, my heart still kicking my sternum like it wants out of my chest. I pull over with the engine idling, trying to suck in the air that doesn't taste like blood or firework residue. And for a minute, all I could hear is the tick of the cooling engine and my own ragged breathing. And then it hits me. Robbie's dead. Emmett's dead. I'm alive, barely. And nobody, not a single soul, is going to believe what happened out there. I dig a smoke out of the glove box with shaking hands. I light it up and I stare at the orange glow. My phone buzzes quickly. Becky probably, or Emmett's mom, asking where her boy is. But I just ignore it. After a while, I drove home. The streets are empty and everybody's either passed out from too much barbecue and cheap beer or dreaming of better towns. I park in my graveled driveway. I kill the lights and I sit there, staring at the cracked windshield, the dashboard sticky with spilled soda and patches of dust. It was at that point where I thought about calling the cops, but then I tried to picture myself explaining what happened. Yeah, officer, it was a scarecrow. On meth. With knives for hands and legs like a chicken. and it murdered my friends. It sounded so stupid they'd drive out there, find the bodies, and just throw my ass in jail. I mean, I had blood on me. Instead, I go inside my home. The house is hot, the air thick and unmoving. I grab another beer from the fridge, crack it open, and sit at the kitchen table. The silence is worse than the cornfield. Every creak and groan of the house sounds like claws on the floor. I try to go to bed, but sleep doesn't come easy, and when it does, it's all nightmares. Robbie's head staring at me from the passenger seat, Emmett's scream echoing through the corn. That thing standing at the edge of my bed, burlap face grinning, with its arms raised. Hell, I wake up sweating, heart pounding. I take a shot of Goldschlager just to take the edge off. Now the next morning, the sun's bright, the world is back to normal. There's a message from Becky. Hope you got home okay. No idea. No clue. I just didn't care. I didn't answer. I called in sick, my boss grumbled at my ass, but I was past caring. I drove back to the cornfield. I parked at the edge and I just sat there, staring at the rows. There's no blood. There's no bodies. Just corn swaying in the breeze. Innocent as a church picnic. But part of me wants to go in and find some proof. But I'm not stupid. I'm alive, and so I drive away. Now days go by, cops find nothing. A lot of townsfolk start talking. Robbie and Emmett disappeared. They probably skipped town, probably ran off with someone else's wife or someone's stash. Nobody's blaming me. Hell, nobody even asks me. Not even the town clowns. Now a week goes by and I try to keep busy. Work, TV, drinking more than I probably should, but the nightmares just get worse. I keep seeing Robbie's face. I keep hearing Emmett scream. That thing's silhouette against the corn, and I start noticing shadows everywhere. Movements in the fields when I drive by at dusk, and that same sulfur sting in the air that fireworks leave behind, only now comes with something rotten underneath it. I tell myself I'm going a little crazy, and maybe I am, but one night, while I'm sitting on my porch, my shotgun across my lap, I hear a sound from the direction of the high school. Fireworks, popping low and dull, way past July. My heart drops in my boots. I grab my keys and I drive out, not because I'm brave, but because I'm too stubborn to let this thing haunt me every damn night. The town's fast asleep, so no one sees me turn onto the dirt road behind the field. The moon's high, casting blue light over the corn. I park the truck, I load my shotgun, and I step into the rows. The smell hits me first. Gunpowder, sweat, something metallic. My boots sink into the mud as I move forward, flashlight darting between the stalks. I reach the spot where Robbie died, where we all died in one way or another. The air's a bit colder here. The corn's broken and flattened, like something big's been pacing. And then I see it, just 30 feet ahead, outlined in moonlight. The tall burlap skin pulled tight over its body, arms ending in wicked rusted blades. Its head tilts, and those empty eyes lock right onto mine. I raise the shotgun, hand shaking but steady enough. "Come here, you bastard," I whisper, my voice sounding braver than I actually feel at that moment. It moves fast, almost like a blur. I fire, and the blast lighting up the corn like a lightning strike. It screams, a sound that makes my teeth rattle. It's on me in seconds. Scythes flashing, nicking my arm, burning like fire. I stagger back, rack the gun, and fire again. This time the burlap tears and something black sprays out. I keep shooting, reloading, cursing, screaming, until the gun's empty and my throat is absolutely raw and I need a fresh cigarette. The thing staggers, drops to one knee, and then lunges one final time. I swing the shotgun like a bat, catch it in the head, and the burlap splits, spilling out rotting corn, worms, and something that looks a lot like blood, but it smells like shit. It collapses, twitching, the scythes scraping the dirt. I walked over to it, stood on top of it, its chest heaving, and I wasn't sure whether to laugh or cry. When it finally stops moving, I drag its body to the edge of the field. I douse it for lighter fluid that I keep for bonfires, and I set it alight. The flames shoot high, filling the air with a stench that'll haunt me forever. I watch until all that's left is ash and twisted metal. And by the time I get home, the sun's coming up. I sit on the porch with my shotgun against my knees, and I light a fresh smoke. My arm's bleeding. My clothes are absolutely ruined, but for the first time in weeks, I feel a little lighter. Maybe nobody will believe me. Maybe I really am crazy. But out there, in the ruins of the cornfield, there's nothing left to chase me anymore. I take a long drag, flick the ash into the grass, and I grin at the sunrise. Happy 4th of July. So, what happened after the fireworks for you?